hit that like. Thank you for being here, folks. From the Hawkeye of the Storm, my name is Corey. If you're new to the channel, thank you for being here. And as a start, please scroll down just a little bit and hit that little thumbs up button. It does help the channel. And if you want more great free content here from the Hawkeye of the Storm, football, men's basketball, women's basketball, and more, be sure to subscribe here from the Hawkeye of the Storm. We've got news to feed down on this Thursday. Boy, it's been a busy offseason. It continues to roll right along into the month of May. Iowa tight end Johnny Pascuzzi, who recently entered his name into the transfer portal, has now withdrawn his name from the transfer portal. This according to Pete Nakos and On3 Sports. Pete Nakos releasing this earlier in the day. Of course, if you're not familiar with Johnny Pascuzzi, played in 9 games in 2023, actually earned himself a few starts. He was not on scholarship. And that's the first thing I want to make very clear, because when I reposted Pete's tweet earlier today, I made the simple comment. I said, this is great news for Iowa's tight end room. I'll explain why that is here in just a minute. But I had some responses, and I'm not going to show the responders' names, but I want to read through a few of these responses so that we can make sure we're all on the same page. One poster made the comment, said, even without Iowa had more than adequate depth at tight end. As a Swarm member, I'm not excited about the idea of having to pay 5 or 6 players to free up scholarships. The premise of the money is to improve the team, not keep people that will never see the field. Another poster says, well said and exactly right. Example is this guy. He's not going to see the field again. Our tight end room is deep. We need to get better at wide receiver and O-line. I'd rather money be going there and not to a guy that isn't going to play, but we're going to pay him to drop his scholarship. Well, let me address that response first. I understand the premise of the comment that's being made, but to say he's never going to see the field again, he was a starter in 3 games last year, and I know he didn't accumulate a bunch of stats, but that's not the only thing a tight end is designed to do, especially in the Iowa offense. And keep in mind, Iowa lost Eric All last year, and still, they had to turn to Johnny Pascuzzi in spite of having All and Lachey and Astringa ahead of Pascuzzi on the depth chart heading into the year. All right, so just keep that in mind. Injuries happen. To say he's never going to see the field again, you don't know that, and he's obviously been adequate, or Iowa would not have had him in front of some other guys who were on scholarship at that position. And then another poster made the comment, said Iowa's scholarship numbers are going to be so bad. What's the penalty if they can't get them down? He is a walk-on. Let me make this very clear. And I'm not ripping anybody for the questions. I understand people just don't understand this. He is a walk-on. Johnny Pascuzzi has not been having his education paid for. Now, I can't say that he is not getting something from the Swarm, right? So the Swarm has a certain prerequisite for players who are on scholarship on the roster. And in addition, they have money that's potentially set aside for other specific deals, player-specific deals, like what Cade McNamara benefited from when he got to Iowa. What did Cade get? I mean, I've heard numbers, but am I comfortable throwing out numbers? No, because I don't know. That's not public information, and it is what it is. I said the other day on Mark Rogers' weekly show on Tuesday that I question a lot of things with this modern era of college football. I question everything I hear from players and the university. Not saying people are lying left and right, but people are lying left and right. Maybe not at Iowa, but it's happening across the board of college football. The bottom line is this. Johnny Pascuzzi is returning to Iowa. He's not returning as a scholarship player. Now, had Iowa had scholarship numbers available in the past, this kid would have been on scholarship. He started 3 games at tight end. He's played significant snaps for Iowa at tight end, has been paying for his own education. Now, I will say this. My guess is that Johnny Pascuzzi, his family, probably doesn't have this massive need to have his education paid for. His parents are minor celebrities. His dad's an award-winning author. They're filmmakers. Very interesting family that he comes from down in the Kansas City area. But nevertheless, this is good news because it's another proven piece in that tight end room. And I know they've got young talent. Gavin Hoffman's young and is going to be really good. Zach Ortworth is young, going to be really good. I think Michael Burt's got a chance to be really good once he gets to campus. But Johnny Pascuzzi's experienced. Luke Lachey's got somewhat of a recent history of injury. So would I be shocked if we head into some segment of the season where you have literally Pascuzzi and maybe a Stringa at the top of the depth chart? No. And Hayden Large is converting back to tight end from fullback. He might play some as well, but sometimes it takes young players time. And I know Zach Ortworth emerged early in his career, as did Addison Estringa, as did TJ Hawkinson and Noah Fant, but that's not always the case, even some of these guys like Gavin Hoffman, who are 4-star recruits. This is good news. Yes, the scholarship issue is a different issue. You've heard me make comments about how I do wonder how some Swarm members are going to feel if they kind of perceive that they're having to pay for basically these scholarship players that are not able to be on scholarship because Iowa's over the limit. And of course, there's a number of guys that won't play that are on scholarship. And so I understand that perspective. I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong, but I understand the perspective. So Johnny Pascuzzi is back. Congratulations to him. When he entered the transfer portal here recently, I had made the comment that, hey, he's probably trying to go somewhere that has space for him to be on scholarship. And that's why I think Iowa ideally wants to get this kid a scholarship. Iowa may not have one immediately. Will they end up paying him something? Possibly. Again, I don't know. But like the bottom line is this kid is deserving somewhere, and it's not his fault Iowa's over-recruited. And my guess is that he's staying at Iowa with the hopes of getting his education paid for, if not right away, at some point down the line. But as of right now, he's not on scholarship. He has been a walk-on at Iowa. So more depth to the tight end position. Honestly, this was one of the more significant experienced entries into the portal that we saw this spring. So good news. We'll continue to follow the latest with the transfer portal and Iowa football. Keep it locked right here from the Hawkeye of the Storm. We'll talk to you soon.